welcome back to Cheap and Green. I've been away from YouTube for I guess close to a month now. We've been battling a number of health issues in the family, and that has pretty much sucked up all the available time. Garner's been working 12, 14-hour days, and we thought it was time to just sort of dig in and deal with our life issues, and unfortunately that meant putting YouTube on hold for a little bit. But we're mostly under control now, so we're back and just in time to say goodbye to 2017. We posted over 40 shows in 2017, which I consider to be a pretty good accomplishment. I feel really happy with that number. I know there are a couple of weeks that we missed, but you know, that's okay. It's not a competition except with myself, and 40 shows is pretty good. I feel like I've made a lot of friends on YouTube. I've made some great connections, and I found it to be a really supportive community. There's two YouTubers in 2017 that I've been really enjoying. The first one is Dainty Dress Diaries. She is, I think, a 24-year-old Irish woman. She has fabulous shabby chic style, and she has all sorts of home improvement projects and hacks that are very easy and really beautiful. So you should definitely check her out. The other one is Ask a Mortician, which is a death positive channel by a mortician, Caitlin Doty. She's also an author. She owns her own funeral home in California, I believe. And she has lots of information about green funerals and more sort of earth-friendly burial practices. 2017 was also the start of my antique booth. As you know, back in April, I rented a booth space in our local antique warehouse, and I've really been enjoying stocking that and sort of watching the trends. At the beginning, I had no idea what people liked. It seemed completely random, and there was a lot of flailing. But it's been really, really interesting. I have a new partner now. My previous partner that I started with has actually opened her own store, so that's been really exciting. And my new partner is actually a neighbor, and it's working really well. She has a very eclectic collection of stuff that she is adding to the booth, and it's been really a lot of fun. The one thing that I'm finding sells really well are end tables. End tables sell great. Anything turquoise sells really fast. Clothes are a really hard sell in the booth. I know there's a lot of vintage stores in my community and in nearby communities, and they do quite well, but there's just something about, you know, the warehouse space that maybe doesn't have the right vibe for clothing. So I have not been very successful with selling any kind of vintage clothes. And that would also include things like jewelry as well, which tends to be hard to sell, because if you keep it safe so it doesn't get stolen, then it doesn't sell. And if you keep it accessible so people can touch it, then it tends to wander off. So I will be letting that part of the business kind of go and focus on other things, small furniture pieces, lamps, and of course my beloved china and glass that I can't resist. In 2017, we added 2 new pets to our household. In addition to our 4 cats and our giant fluffy dog, we also added a pair of rescued lovebirds, Olive and Mango, and they are adorable and a joy. They're very chatty, so if you're noise sensitive, I would not recommend getting a pet bird. But they're quite sweet and quite clever, and we've really loved having them in the house. For 2017, we also were really conscious of cutting down the amount of stuff brought into the house. I know it's sort of a contradiction, because I was acquiring a lot of stuff for the antique booth, and I think that's really what really sort of galvanize the decluttering because there's just so much stuff accumulating and you can't move, you can't stand it. So the need to sort of purge and keep the house minimal and get rid of things that aren't working, that we don't love, things that annoy us. Do you ever have that where you have something in your life and it's like a sticky drawer or a screwdriver that never really worked or something, and it annoys you every time you use it? So really focusing on that, getting rid of the annoyances, trying to improve things so that life is just a little bit easier. So we've really been focusing on that. And for Christmas, that was no exception. We really tried to keep the Christmas consumption down to a manageable level. We didn't have a lot of shopping time, so a lot of stuff was done online, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. And we focused on what people would really love and what they would really use. And I have two notable presents to share with you. Garner gave me my beautiful Wonder Woman necklace. We saw the movie, of course, like everybody did in 2017. And I just loved that movie. That was a fantastic movie. But I've been a huge Wonder Woman fan for forever. So it's wonderful now that the movie's out that there's all sorts of memorabilia out that fans can now indulge in all this cool Wonder Woman stuff. So Garner got this necklace for me and I'm really, really happy with it. The second thing that I got for myself was something that I've been looking at, I don't know, for years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It's called a gurgle pot, and it is a water pitcher shaped like a fish that makes a funny noise. It gurgles when you pour water out of it. And I really wanted a water jug for the table, for dinner time. We have a plastic one that we keep in the fridge, but I mean, it's plastic, right? I mean, it's not beautiful. And these gurgle pots are funny. They're funny. So I got a gift certificate and I went out and I bought the one that I have been looking at for a really long time. So it's just one of those things that we could have just used the plastic one, but this one just brings that little bit of joy into my life. And yeah, I know, small things amuse me, what can I say? But I really love it, and it works really well with my Fiesta ware, and I'm just so excited to finally have one. I'm a fan of Blue Willow China, and when I came across these mugs and dishes from Calamity Ware, I was in love. Very good friends of ours shipped me a set of these 4 mugs, and at a quick glance they look just like Blue Willow China, but on closer inspection they are covered with pterodactyls and sea monsters and giant killer robots and UFOs and various other horrible things that could befall you. And I just think they're hilarious. They're so funny. If you weren't paying attention, you would just think it was beautiful Blue Willow. But there's a little secret. Looking forward to 2018, I was trying to sort of think, am I going to do New Year's resolutions? And I don't really like New Year's resolutions. I find them, I guess, stressful. But I think that it's good to have goals. So what I would like to do is concentrate more on our health as a family. Try and eat a little better, because one of the things that goes when you're really stressed out and you have a lot going on is you tend to eat really poorly, and that makes the stress worse and the health worse, and you don't sleep well, and it just has this sort of cascade effect. So I'd really like to sort of pull back and refocus on eating properly as a family. And then I want to really focus on trying to cut down our sort of one-use products. Again, when you get busy, and tired and stressed out, you tend to grab these convenience products. It's totally understandable. Everybody does it. And you have to do what you need to do to survive in the moment. But now that things are calming down, I'd really like to sort of refocus our attention on that and, eliminate the use of straws and try and remember when we go out to ask no straws. And take a look at our other uses, our Q-tips, our paper towels, even dental floss. Is there something more sustainable that we could be using that we can just sort of gradually introduce into our lives and isn't going to be a big deal and a big expense and a big encumbrance? So that's it for Cheap and Green. I wanted to thank all of you for joining me throughout 2017 and maybe learning a little bit together. I've really enjoyed all of your comments and questions, and I hope you'll continue to follow me and join me for 2018. Thanks, and see you next time.